Welcome to a small video I'm putting together for installation of tools with Eclipse. The tools that we're going to need are Eclipse, GraphViz, and the ELGS4 CSC300 code. There's a few different ways we can do this on Mac, and I've only made a video for Windows, so I wanted to put this together for anyone that would be using Mac. So if we go ahead and get started here, I think the first thing we can install is Eclipse. So if you just go into Google and you can type in Eclipse, there might be a few different ways you can do this, but I think the best way is if you hit download, and then you can download this by 8664. Then if I hit download here, I'll be able to get this file open, and then I get a Mac DMG file, and I can just open this guy up. Open them too often. There we go. And there's going to be an installer, a part of this package, so you can just double click the installer to open it up and open. And there should be an option here. I already have this installed, so it might not let me see all the options yet, but there is a package called Java IDE for developers, and that is the package that you'd want to install on Eclipse. So let's see if it pops up for us right here, this top one, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Hit that guy, and then of course I already have my Eclipse installed, so I won't reinstall it, but if you install it, it should go ahead and put everything together for us. Now, once you open up Eclipse right away, it might ask you for a workspace, or it should at the start right here, this Eclipse IDE launcher. Don't hit launch just yet. What we're going to want to do next is go ahead and wherever you want to keep your workspace for the course, desktop, it doesn't matter, but you're going to want to make a folder called a workspace. You can call it anything you want, but workspace is usually the best term. So in my folder here, I have my everything, and then I have work, and then DePaul. And then I have this folder called CSC300 workspace, and I just created this, and there's nothing inside of it just yet. So what I want to do next is inside of our D2L page, if you go into the course that we have here underneath content, you'll see a new link for a checklist, week 1 checklist. This video will be right here, and there'll be some more items here as well once it's all done, but you'll see a DS1 source code. If you click that, you will get a download file, and what you download is this file called ds1.zip, which then becomes an ELGS4. You can see I already have it downloaded here, so I'm going to just replace it. And now if I open up ELGS4, you can see a few things in there, but all I want to do is drag ELGS4 into my CSC300 workspace that was empty before. So now your workspace should pretty much be again, this is completely up to you. You can put in users wherever you like, but you need to have a folder called workspace, and then inside of that workspace, a folder called ELGS4. Now the next thing we want to do before we finish up everything is install this program called GraphViz. And the way we're actually going to use it is with Homebrew. I do know that Mac allows you to install GraphViz a different way too. I'm not sure if that is proper or not, if it will make any difference. We could see that as the time goes on, but if I just type in Homebrew into Google, I'll get this item here, and then I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this install Homebrew. I'm going to open up a terminal on my Mac, so at the top I'm going to hit my arrow, type in terminal. I'm going to copy and paste this command for Homebrew, and then it's going to ask me for my password. Great. And then I already believe that I installed it. Great. So now that our Homebrew is installed, there's a few things that we want to do with Homebrew before we do it. I'm just going to go ahead and copy the commands it tells me to here. This first one. And this will be automatic for each of you, but your next steps here, you want to run these 2 commands. I'm going to type in that guy, and then I'm going to copy the second one, type in that guy. And then I'm just going to check out if brew help works. Yep, so brew help works, and then what I'm going to type in next is brew update. It should tell me that everything is up to date. Great. And then what I'm going to type in next is brew install GRAPHVIZ, GraphViz. And it's going to download it for me and then just automatically install it for us. Excellent. So it installs quite a bit for us, but actually, so GraphViz should be installed after we do this part. And now what we can actually do is go ahead and open up our Eclipse again so that we can navigate to that structure that popped up earlier. Now what you want to do here is, this is probably already done for me, but if you hit browse, you're going to be able to navigate to the workspace that you want to work with. So again, we created this workspace earlier. Mine was in work DePaul, and then I made this one called CSC300. You don't want to click ALX4 or anything in here. You just want to click the CSC300 one. And if you hit open, you're going to be able to press launch. And you can default this if you want. If you do other Java development or anything, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter if you get prompted this every time or not. It's not a huge deal. So when you open up your workspace, you'll see a create a Java project over here. You can click it on here or file a new Java project. After you go ahead and do that, your project name needs to be ALGS4, ALGS4. And then the only other thing that you can leave all this as it is, but down here you're going to see a create a module info.java file. This might be checked or not, but make sure it's not checked because there's a module info file already inside of our project. And if you replace it or anything, you're going to have a lot of issues with the code. So make sure this isn't checked. You're going to hit finish. Great. And now we're going to have a bunch of items in here, source files. There's a few warnings in here. One more thing before we go ahead and get started with looking at the code is if we go to Eclipse and then Preferences, we can navigate into Java. And then we see this section called Compiler. If we open Compiler, we'll see errors and warnings. And then this code style, you see quite a few of them here. If we scroll down to unused private members, should be around here somewhere. Underneath unnecessary code, apology. So if you go into underneath unnecessary code and you see value of local variable is not used, you can change that to ignore. And then if you scroll down again to unused, let's see here, should be one more, unused import and unused private member, we can go ahead and hit ignore on that as well. You can leave unused import as a warning if you'd like, so that you don't have unnecessary imports. Up to you really. But if we apply this, yes, and then apply and close, we'll see now that we have a lot less warnings that are going to be popping up. Great. See, now we only have 17. And again, the warnings that are left here are the ones that are unused imports. You can, if you disable that, you'll get no warnings. But that is entirely up to you. And now to actually check if this is running or not, I'm going to go to my first homework for 300 Java. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play up here right away to see if I get any output. Great, I get my failed test, which is what we wanted. And now to check if GraphViz is running for us, if I scroll down to the main one down here, and I change this to just normal main, and I change main, the original to main 2, and I go ahead and hit play here. Once you hit play, it will output a GV file to your desktop that you can view.